Roman Reigns returns to start another bloodline civil war. We also have CM Punk and Rhea Ripley fighting over a potential Hell in a Cell match, and we have Charlotte Flair cleared and ready to compete. These are your last minute news, spoilers and rumours for SummerSlam. We're going to go through every match on the card, including one that at the last minute didn't make it, and share our predictions as well as spoilers of what happens next. Beware of a few spoilers for the WrestleMania card in this one. We'll start with the Wyatt Six. While there was talk of Uncle Howdy's official debut against Chad Gable, mirroring what happened so many years ago with The Fiend debuting against Finn Balor, that was changed to a 6-man tag team match happening on Monday Night Raw for a number of reasons. Firstly, they do want to push a rating when they're on Sci-Fi instead of their actual home, but in addition to that, they wanted to fasten this story up. They wanted to make it move a lot faster, get Chad Gable and the Creed brothers together so that the Wyatt Six could move on nice and swiftly to other people they have in their sights. You may have noticed some sort of hovering around Dakota Kai recently. This plays into a larger focus by Triple H and Nick Khan. The focus is not on the PLEs and the pay-per-views anymore. Even the big WrestleManias don't necessarily get the big surprises and returns. They're kept for the daily and weekly TV shows now. Keep this in mind when we talk about the impending returns of Roman Reigns, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. For the actual SummerSlam card, we start with Drew McIntyre against CM Punk with Seth Rollins as the referee. This is a hell of a lot of star power and I expect it to open the show. The betting favourite and my prediction are the same here. Drew McIntyre picking up the win in a feud that I expect to see run and run and run. There is already talk of a Hell in a Cell match between these two at Bad Blood being discussed. Rollins versus Punk is looking like the pivot, so Punk would basically use this match to get a WrestleMania match that was planned for this year against Seth Rollins that was originally going to be establishing CM Punk, having him lose, as Drew McIntyre did, the World Heavyweight Championship to a cash-in at the last moment. It just would have been a heist of the century so that Punk didn't hold the gold at all. As regards McIntyre, a prerequisite of his new contract was championships. Not just the compelling storylines that he's had and the heel turn that he was looking for to return to the Scottish Psychopath, actual bona fide championships. The winner of the World Heavyweight Championship match should keep their eye out because at WrestleMania, Drew McIntyre is coming for you. Next up, Nia Jax challenges Bayley for her Women's Championship. And as much as I don't want to say it, Nia Jax seems the logical win here. I'm still going to predict Bayley because I want to talk with my heart, but Nia Jax is currently one of the only heels in a very face-heavy SmackDown, and as such, she's the only real option. We could potentially see a heel turn for Bianca Belair, a rival of a heel Alexa Bliss, but that seems likely for Raw instead. In fact, knowing that Charlotte Flair is on the way back, and Charlotte Flair versus Bianca Belair is also being discussed for WrestleMania after not happening this year, it seems like Nia Jax is the obvious choice. An easy transition point, someone who's genuinely hated by a lot of people, to get that gold from Bayley to Jax, long term to Flair, and then back to Belair again. This of course would necessitate Bianca Belair splitting herself from her tag team with Jade Cargill, but I expect that anyway. Talk of a Bianca Belair heel turn has quietened down, particularly since Bobby Lashley's contract situation became so tenuous, but I can't write it out. Charlotte Flair will be returning as a face, and I don't see her turning heel anytime soon. For the United States Championship, Logan Paul defends against LA Knight. This was a match again that was planned for WrestleMania, but it was pushed back. I reported on that one back in October when they were first putting it together. Logan Paul's success with the belt is not on WWE TV, though WWE, Triple H in particular, are very, very happy with what Logan Paul is bringing to the WWE. That overall level of success actually goes way beyond that. To YouTube, to different appearances, to boxing, Logan Paul wants to carry that gold into major events around the world. He will not get the chance. You see, LA Knight is a favourite of Triple H and someone who has definitely earned his way to championships after a number of high-profile losses. They haven't pulled the trigger. Now is the time to say LA Knight? Yeah. As happy as people are with the work of Logan Paul, he's never there. And with the top championship so wrestled up in the Bloodline storyline, at least was Cody Rhodes is involved with the Bloodline, they need someone who can actually have a championship and actively defend it. To be clear, I ain't saying Solo Sikoa is winning it, I'm saying LA Knight is winning the United States Championship, and that will mean he can actively defend against a number of people, including, as I previously mentioned, John Cena. LA Knight was promised a match with John Cena by John Cena quite a while ago now. For the Intercontinental Championship, we have a rematch. Sami Zayn defending once again against Bron Breakker. And this is definitely one of the clearest favourites that there is. Bron Breakker to win the gold. I definitely expected this in the last match, but now that we've got to the rematch, it seems even more clear. I'll also say, Bron Breakker's comments about Sami Zayn preparing for life after the WWE have a note of truth to them. Sami Zayn's work in stand-up comedy is reminding a lot of people of Dolph Ziggler and the way that he moved to being a talking head, and in many ways, according to some in WWE, lost his focus at the actual top of the division. There are rumours that Sami Zayn is looking for his next contract to be limited dates, allowing him to work on his Sami for Syria campaign and other areas of sort of political activism. It's also worth noting that the original plan did not feature Sami Zayn winning this championship anytime soon. In fact, Gunther would have actually retained the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania against his initial planned opponent, Brock Lesnar, before Brock Lesnar pissed that up a wall. Gunther retaining would have meant that he was walking into a match at this year's SummerSlam with either a Bron Breakker or Ilya Dragunov, and he would then lose the Intercontinental Championship. There wasn't at that point a plan to put him into a World Heavyweight Championship feud just yet. In fact, he was looking lined up to win the championship at WrestleMania after winning a Royal Rumble. That said, where we are now seems to be a pretty happy medium. Bron Breakker versus Sami Zayn, with a story already set with Ilya Dragunov, really shows a developing IC Championship picture that has not only moved away from Gunther, but could well create two more people that Triple H views as the next Gunther. Bron Breakker could have a long championship reign, Ilya Dragunov the same, or we could get a New Day versus the Usos here and just have two big meaty men slapping the hell out of each other for the next year. I wouldn't complain. As we're talking Gunther, let's talk World Heavyweight Championship next. A lot of this revolves around Damian Priest, who's pretty much done as champion at this point. They've given him some high profile wins, they've made him seem like a big time player, but he himself has made himself seem like a big time player, and the WWE are very happy with his work. I would expect him to be a multiple time champion before his career ends. They are very happy with what he's done. That said, Gunther is Gunther. The time is now, right before Bash in Berlin, and they're going to get out of this very cleverly. Damian Priest will not look weak because you have Judgement Day involved. This match and the next one are going to be heavy on Judgement Day internal conflict. We are very clearly lined up. The faces will be Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, the heels will be JD McDonough and Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio will be lost and forgotten. Also Carlito. Nevertheless, it's worth pointing out that Damian Priest's stock has risen dramatically since losing that match to Bad Bunny many moons ago. They were already high on this guy, and he's convinced them that he is worth every penny of their investment. 2 matches left, and we're going to the hottest match of the summer. Liv Morgan defending her championship against Rhea Ripley. And I've got to say, as hot feuds go, this is the nearest contender to CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. This could open the show, this could main event the show, this could also be that Hell in a Cell in Bad Blood that I was talking about. The Liv Morgan Revenge Tour has been massively successful. Morgan's stock has risen dramatically as well, and she's taken huge advantage of the injury to Rhea Ripley and the absence of Becky Lynch to make the entire women's division about her. So much so, in fact, that there are no legitimate contenders for her championship apart from Rhea Ripley. The moment Ripley picked up her injury and I reported she'd be back in time for a match at SummerSlam, it was very, very clear they were going to wait for Rhea, and I do think they made the right call here. Nevertheless, with so much Judgement Day internal conflict happening, I think Liv Morgan escapes with this one. And I think this one goes way into the latter stages of fall. You could build a War Games around this. While a Judgement Day Civil War is definitely a good thing for Finn Balor, who recently signed a new deal, for Damian Priest, who's been well respected as a face, the main focus is on Rhea Ripley. There is confidence that she is the next big breakout star in the WWE. Not a single division, the WWE. And as such, the face turn that she has had upon her return, the work that Liv Morgan did to establish that we should be cheering for Rhea Ripley, has been absolutely perfect. Everything the WWE wanted and everything I wanted. Liv Morgan holding on to the gold for a little longer so that we don't see a repeat of, oh, Ronda Rousey's back, let's just give her back the gold, is the right call. Rhea Ripley is going to be very, very mad at Finn Balor. Before going to the main event, I do just want to touch on a couple of returns that I don't expect to see during SummerSlam. Alexa Bliss is cleared and ready to return. I don't expect her to arrive at SummerSlam. I expect it to take a little while longer while the Wyatt Six really ingratiate themselves with the crowd before she starts working with them. As regards Charlotte Flair, she's a SmackDown wrestler. I don't expect her during Bayley vs Nia Jax, but I do expect her to appear very soon on SmackDown as a challenger to the throne. There is of course one more return that I haven't mentioned as not happening on SummerSlam. So let's talk about Cody Rhodes defending the undisputed, not universal WWE Championship against Solo Sikoa, the new Tribal Chief 2.0. This match is set to main event, but it is dominated by the impending return of Roman Reigns. So much so that the champion, Cody Rhodes himself, screams afterthought in this match. It's one of the main reasons I think fans aren't really behind it. If Roman Reigns doesn't appear at SummerSlam, it'll be a massive anticlimax at the end, and WWE, particularly Triple H, wants you to reach that climax. In fact, WWE Creative already have the Bloodline Civil War 2.0 set up, with a potential match between Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns for the Tribal Chiefdom lined up at WrestleMania, paving the way for The Rock to get beaten up by Cody Rhodes. Bloodline A versus Bloodline B looks pretty set to take place at War Games in, let's just say, absolute demolition jobs that we can all get behind. It's actually Cody Rhodes who's the B-part player here, unfortunately. While he won't really be involved going forwards, he's undoubtedly the overwhelming favourite to retain his championship, and while I do see Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns free in our near future, what I very much see happening is Solo Sikoa over-celebrating, overplaying his card, and before finishing the job, Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, and Jey Uso, followed closely by Paul Heyman, make their presence known. Tell me in the comments what match you're most excited for and whether you see Roman Reigns returning at SummerSlam. Until then, check out the full watch party which we'll be hosting on Saturday, and I'll see you next time.